Assalamu alaikum, dear students, and welcome to the civics class. We are dealing with the chapter public facilities. In our previous lecture, we talk about the supply of water in 4 regions or areas of Chennai. So let us move ahead with the topic public facilities too. And in this topic, we are going to study some other public facilities that are being provided by the government in the country. For example, there are different hospitals, sanitation, public transport, schools, and colleges, and these are all important for everyone in the country, and they are also known as public facilities. Now, when we talk about one of the most important feature of such facilities is that once they are provided, it provides an opportunity to everyone to get such facility. For example, if a government opens a school in a particular area, so it gives an opportunity to everyone, every child, to get education in that school. In the same way, when we talk about hospitals or in any other facility, for example, if a government is supplying electricity in a particular area, so it has many usefulness benefits. For example, at the same time, it can be used by to run the industries or many farmers. They can irrigate their lands with the help of gensets or pump sets. Because they works on electricity. Even if we talk about students, they can read well, study well at night because of regular power supply. So we can say there are a number of uses of that we get from public facilities. Now, why it is the responsibility of government only to provide such facilities? Why the private sector is not providing such facilities? So let's talk about that. As you know that first and foremost duty of the government is to make ensure that the public facilities should reach every person in the country. On the other hand, when we talk about private sector, they are least bothered about that because they are providing the services, but their main motive is to get the profit. On the other hand, the main motive of the government while providing such facilities is the social welfare. When we talk about some public facilities, for example, cleaning the drains or running an anti-malaria campaign in that field or in that sector, private sector is least interested because they are not undertaking such work. And but at the same time, companies or private sector is interested in schools and hospital. That means they are running or they are starting different private schools and private hospitals in cities or in urban areas because they are providing the services at the price which some people can afford. As you know, the standard of living of people living in urban areas or cities is much better than the rural areas. That is why people living in urban areas can or or able to afford such services from the private sector. At the same time, we see that private sector is not providing such services in the rural areas, or there are no private hospitals, or we can say private schools in rural areas. Although then there are, but the number is very less because in rural areas people are not in a position or they are not able to afford such services. Okay, so that is why this is totally different when we talk about the public sector or the government, because they have to make ensure to provide public facilities to everyone, as it is written in the Constitution of India, the uh, right to life that is guarantees for all persons living in this country. So at that time, it is the responsibility of the government to provide such facilities to everyone in the country. Now, what are the different sources of income to government, or when we talk about the revenue that the government gets from different sources, and on which sectors that income or that revenue is spent? So let's talk about. Now this is the pie chart which shows where government spends money. So there are number of categories. There is pension, there is state share of taxes and duties, interest payments, central sector schemes, centrally sponsored schemes. That means these are different sectors on which the government spends money. The last sector share is 24% that the government spends on state share of taxes and duties. And there are other sectors like the government spends money on centrally sponsored schemes or defense or any other expenditure or interest payment. Here's the word interest payment. So actually this is the amount of interest that a borrower pays to a lender on a loan each month. That means simply this is the interest on loans. So this pie chart shows the amount of money government spends on different fields. Now where that money comes to the government, so we will talk about it here. This is another pie chart, and this shows actually what are the various sources of revenue of the government. So here you can see there are mostly these are taxes, whether this is income tax or GST. So largest source of revenue to the central government is GST, that is 23%. This is GST which is goods and service taxes. तो इससे सबसे ज़्यादा रेवेन्यू हासिल होता है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को. Then this revenue is spent on different projects in the country, whether for the construction of hospital, construction of roads, construction of schools. At the same that is why it is the responsibility of the government to provide such service or public facilities to the people living in the country. Okay, so in this topic we talk about the role of the government in providing the public facilities. Okay, now here is a picture, two pictures. This is actually the right to educational act that makes ensure that between the age of 6 to 14 years every child should get free and compulsory education. So this is also the role of government here, responsibility of the government. And another, this is uh, related to the polio, that means polio vaccine. That means everyone, every child should, government has to make ensure that this polio vaccine should reach to the children so that they can be protected, prevented from different diseases. So this is also the role or the responsibility of the government. So I hope you have understood this topic very well, and we will meet you in the next topic. The topic we will discuss in that lecture. Okay, till then, goodbye.